Right now, we take a deep dive into Wisconsin's incarceration numbers, how they relate to the state's crime rate, and some other factors that can impact a prison's capacity. Also, an investigation underway in Madison after multiple fires are reported downtown just minutes apart. What we know so far. And later, the nation paying its respects to the victims of the 9/11 attacks. This as we hit a new grim milestone. Welcome to News 3 Now at 6. Crime, incarceration, and the justice system are topics of contention, both nationally but also locally right now. News 3 Now's Maddie Himes brings us the facts when it comes to crime and prison data right here in Wisconsin.
You may have seen headlines like these recently or heard statements like these.
Crime here is up and through the roof.
In one state, it provides prison for life.
They allowed common street criminals.
But experts warn that if you take them at face value, you may not be seeing the full picture.
So that's why I'm saying it's not linear.
When it comes to crime reporting, UW-Madison criminal justice expert Kenneth Streit says the relationship between crime rates and prison crowding is complicated. One key difference, Streit says, is separating facility capacity from operational capacity. He says to take Oshkosh Correctional Institution as an example.
Like Oshkosh, people would say, its design capacity is 1,400. Its operational capacity is 2,200 because we have enough programs for them and we have enough guards to safely manage their movement and their interaction.
But in some institutions, it's just the opposite.
Waupun, if it doesn't have enough guards, even though, let's say, its design capacity is 800, its operational capacity might have only been 500.
Right now, Wisconsin is facing an extreme shortage in prison guards. So if an institution sees a loss in employees, it can, quote, hit capacity without adding a single inmate. Beyond discerning capacity, Streit says, saying crime is either, quote, up or down is an oversimplification.
The key thing is, yeah, but are homicides down? Is death by reckless driving down? And things like that, because those are the key things that prisons do.
You can get a closer look at the data in this report and check out our investigative work into conditions within state institutions right now on channel3000.com.
Maddie, thank you. The Madison Fire Department investigating 3 separate fires, all taking place downtown this morning. One of them leaving 6 UW students without a home. News 3 Now's Kyle Pozorski is downtown live now with what we know about these fires so far. Kyle?
Eric, Madison Fire is not saying all 3 fires are indeed connected, instead beginning an investigation into them because they each took place within the same hour and within such close proximity of each other. The first 2 fires involved garbage dumpsters, leaving no damage. Now, as for this one that we're at here on West Washington Avenue, it is believed to have started outside before entering the building. It was this morning when News 3 Now spoke with a neighbor here who tells us the sounds of screams woke him up all before he looked out his window to find flames.
So I immediately knew there was a fire, and so I grabbed my dog Sadie, didn't put any clothes on, grabbed the rest of the neighbors, and made it outside as fast as I could.
The damage is estimated to cost about $500,000. The American Red Cross is helping the impacted students while they are displaced. And again, to be clear, we still do not know if all 3 fires are indeed connected, but authorities want to at least consider the possibility that they are, again, due to the time and distance apart from each other. In downtown, Kyle Pozorski, News 3 Now.
All right, Kyle, thank you. Meanwhile, in Kenosha County, the Sheriff's Department says it found the scuba diver who had gone missing in Lake Michigan yesterday. Police say 72-year-old Patrick Kelly of Winthrop Harbor, Illinois, was exploring the shipwreck of the SS Wisconsin, which sank back in 1929. That wreck located 6 miles out from Pleasant Prairie. It is a common wreck for experienced divers. Kelly was found at about 125 feet of water near the wreckage. Recovery efforts were successful in bringing Kelly back to the surface. A 16-year-old facing murder charges in Chippewa County will do so in adult court. The unidentified defendant was just 14 years old when prosecutors say he killed 10-year-old Lily Peters. He's also charged with sexually assaulting her. The teen's lawyer tried unsuccessfully to have the case heard in juvenile court, but the state's Court of Appeals agreed with an earlier decision made by a Chippewa County judge back in January. Temperatures feeling more like summer than fall. Let's check your first warn forecast. Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington on the weather patio. Alex?
Eric, it's feeling more like July and August. Subtract the humidity. That we don't have out here. It's a dry warmth across southern Wisconsin. Temperatures in the 80s, still hanging on to 81 degrees here. A little bit after 6 o'clock at night. That dew point's low, humidity's low. It's a dry warmth across southern Wisconsin. Quite refreshing. Really quite nice out here on the patio. A little bit earlier today during the newscast, that sun was awfully bright and I was sweating a bit. Not sweating too much out here right now. Our temperatures went down into the 60s overnight, and then they climbed back up into the oranges and reds, up to 84 degrees for high temperature. That's what we were going for a predicted high temperature, a forecasted high for today. And we got warmer temperatures in the forecast. Can you believe that? Let's plan this evening, though. Temperatures going down to about 70 degrees at 8, 9 o'clock. When you join Blaze at our 10 o'clock newscast, we'll be at about 68. Wee hours of the morning, we'll go down into the 60s. A nice night. You probably could open up the windows if that's cool enough for you. I'm going for a low of 58 degrees to start off Thursday morning. Not expecting fog, even in those low-lying areas, at least nothing widespread, because, again, it is awfully dry across southern Wisconsin. Well, a couple 81s. You got an 82 in the Dells, an 80 in Monroe, a 77. That's a cooler spot in Mineral Point here across Dane County. 81s and 82s. Edgerton, you're sitting at 83 degrees, and to the southwest in Perry, you're sitting at 80 degrees. I said warmer temperatures. We're going to go all the way up to 86 on Thursday, and then staying in the 80s, clear out through the next 10 days before we possibly drop back down into the 70s by next Saturday. What are our chances of water? That's what we're going to focus on coming up in Maine weather. Francine will be moving north, but how much water will Francine bring? I have the answer in a few minutes.
Alex, thank you. To Campaign 2024 coverage now. A new Marquette Law School poll is showing Vice President Kamala Harris growing her lead on former President Donald Trump. Now, one thing to note, this poll was taken before last night's presidential debate. According to the poll, Vice President Harris leads Donald Trump 52-48 in Wisconsin. The numbers remain the same among likely voters. When the race expands to multiple candidates, Kamala Harris leads Donald Trump 47-43. That is within the margin of error. Now, in the race for U.S. Senate, incumbent Senator Tammy Baldwin leads Republican challenger Eric Hovde by that same 52-48 margin among registered voters. She leads 52-47 among likely voters. The margin of error for likely voters, 4.7%, 4.6% for registered voters. Today, our nation marks the 23rd anniversary of the 9/11 terror attacks. Nearly 3,000 people were killed when terrorists hijacked 4 commercial airliners on September 11th of 2001. 2 planes crashed into the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in Lower Manhattan. Another plane was crashed into the Pentagon. A 4th crashed into a field in rural Pennsylvania after passengers tried to stop the hijacking. This year also marks a dark milestone. More New York first responders have now died from post-9/11 illnesses than who died on the actual day of the attacks. And today's date, of course, is an important moment in American history. 9/11, a day of remembrance for the thousands who lost their lives in the terrorist attack 23 years ago. Our Ellie La Liberté also shows how first responders are paying their respects right here in Madison.
Firefighters, police officers, and Madison city officials gathered to honor the bravery of first responders 23 years ago. Firefighters Local 311, a firefighting union, hosted a memorial ceremony in front of Station 14. The ceremony had several speakers and included a presentation of the colors and ringing of the bell. For those in attendance, it was a chance to reflect and honor those who died helping others.
We never forget our fallen. We never forget their sacrifice, and we will always honor them and their families no matter what.
Those firefighters that gave the ultimate sacrifice. It's about respecting them, their work, but also as a firefighter, again, it's a reset for us.
Speakers from the event also say ceremonies like this one are important to do every year to continue to remind younger generations of the sacrifice.
Ellie, thank you. And Dane County Sheriff Calvin Barrett also used his speech during the ceremony to encourage others interested in law enforcement to join. And today, the Madison Fire and Police Departments hosted the 13th annual Never Forget Blood Drive. This was in partnership with the Red Cross. We were at Garver Feed Mill as the community showed its support by donating blood to address the ongoing need for blood products. The Madison Fire and Police Department started hosting the drives back in 2012. And throughout the years, this blood drive has been successful due to the efforts of dedicated blood donors, many of whom are firefighters and police officers.
Police and fire are out in the community every day responding to emergencies, responding to life-threatening situations, and we tell our donors that it doesn't take a uniform to be a hero. Anyone can roll up their sleeve and donate blood, and one blood donation impacts up to 3 lives, and so we really want to encourage everyone to be everyday heroes and join us by donating blood.
Since that first drive was held, more than 1,000 life-saving donations have been collected. Coming up after the break, we take a look at the latest tally from our Coats for Kids campaign, plus looking into the cost of pet insurance and whether it can help buy you some peace of mind. We'll be right back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6, brought to you by Gruber Law Offices.
Gruber Law Office. One call, that's all.
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 Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
One call, that's all.
Kamala Harris cast the tie-breaking vote that created America's inflation.
The vice president votes in the affirmative, and the bill is passed.
Economists said Harris's vote led directly to the higher prices we pay. 22% more for groceries, 50% more for gas. Mortgage costs nearly double. Thanks a lot, Kamala. Trump had our economy humming. He'll do it again.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
I'm not old enough to vote yet, but I learned how 1 out of 6 of us will someday be raped. So please, think about me when you vote. I learned how our freedom to have an abortion was taken away, even in cases of rape or incest.
Even to travel to get an abortion.
Please, think about me.
You know who got rid of Roe v. Wade.
Now women are being refused life-saving care at hospitals, and politicians are trying to ban birth control. Please, think about me. My parents call me their miracle daughter because I was born with IVF.
But IVF could be banned too.
Do they think we're less than human?
Do they think we can't make decisions about our own bodies? About our own lives? When you vote, please think about me.
And me.
And me.
Because the politician who got rid of Roe v. Wade, he couldn't care less.
News 3 Now is focusing on the issues and the races that matter where you live, with 3 for the people.
Talking with local candidates, looking at both sides of the issues, and fact-checking it all, so you can cast your vote with confidence.
3 for the people, only on News 3 Now. You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Our Coats for Kids campaign needs your help in collecting kid-sized winter coats for the upcoming season. News 3 Now teaming up with Clinky Cleaners, the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County, and Magic 98 to try to collect 5,000 coats. And right now, our total coat count sits at 357. Now, here's how you can help. From now through October 5th, simply drop off kids' winter coats and accessories at any Clinky Cleaners location. All items will be cleaned for free before being sent to the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County for distribution. The goal is to collect 5,000 coats, as we mentioned, children's-sized winter coats. If you don't have one, you can still help by buying a coat off the Coats for Kids Amazon wish list. You can find a link to that at channel3000.com/coats4kids. For many of us, we do just about anything for our pets, including having them insured. But some experts say what heals your pet can really do some damage to your budget. A major industry group reports that 6.25 million pets were insured in North America in 2023, nearly 1 million more than the year before. The average premium for accident and illness insurance for a dog was about $675 in 2023 and around $383 for cats. Accident-only insurance is cheaper but doesn't cover illnesses like cancer, infections, or digestive issues.
All pet insurances are definitely not created equal, and it's absolutely worth your time to take the effort to shop around.
And another challenge, keeping your pets insured. In June, Nationwide Pet, which is the largest provider of its kind in the country, said it would drop about 100,000 policies by next summer to keep up with rising veterinary care costs. Still ahead on News 3 Now at 6, what a newly released report is saying about inflation, plus the state's annual Best Tasting Tap Water Competition happening today in Madison. Who came out on top this year? That's next. And what kind of impact could Hurricane Francine have on our weather this week? Alex with a complete forecast when we come back.
I'm Joan Balwig, and these days the cost to make Great-Grandma Balwig's Blue Ribbon banana bread is, well, just nuts. Wisconsin families are feeling the pinch of inflation, even on the basics. That's why I work to put dough back in your pockets. Led the effort to defend our family farms and passed the biggest tax cut in state history, because the only way to make life affordable again is to do what Banana Bread does and bring everyone to the table.
If you're looking for a new fence or deck, we're running our 60-60-60 sale. You'll get a $60 Visa gift card plus either 60% off the installation or 60-month no interest financing on your fence or deck. Scan the code to see if you qualify. Right now, we're running our 60-60-60 sale, so when you purchase your new concrete coating, you get a $60 Visa gift card plus either 60% off installation or 60-month no interest financing. This is one of our best deals of the year, so visit our website or call the number for your new floor today.
Women need to pay close attention
to what Eric Hovde says about access to abortion.
Hovde's all in about opposing reproductive rights.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
And he wanted Roe overturned.
Do you think Roe versus Wade should be overturned?
Yes. So Eric Hovde is okay with politicians overruling decisions of doctors like me.
My patients worry about what Hovde will take away next.
A vote for Eric Hovde means we'll lose even more control over our lives.
Women Vote is responsible for the content of this ad.
At DePaco, your health and happiness are as important to us as your financial well-being. So when you're ready to take the first step, we'll help you make a plan and transform it into a lifelong commitment. Well-being is the key to a life worth loving. So when you think about yours, remember that DePaco can help you be well.
What does an opportunity economy look like? Tax cuts for working families. Billionaires and big corporations pay their fair share. It increases stability and security, gives people a true opportunity to get ahead. It's a very different vision than Donald Trump's. His plans will raise costs and taxes on the vast majority of Americans. We need to be thinking about the future and how we make it better for families like yours. I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6. Moving forward.
Now, there's some good news in regards to inflation. A new report is showing it is easing a bit. Overall annual inflation is up 2.5%. That is the smallest year-over-year increase since 2021. Government data shows grocery store prices rose less than 1% over the last year. That's way down from the 13% increase we saw 2 years ago. Gas prices are down 58 cents a gallon in the last year. The Federal Reserve is analyzing the data closely. It meets next week on interest rates. The Fed pushed rates to a 23-year high to bring down inflation, which also showed the economy and the job market. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger says Wall Street hopes to see a larger half-point cut, but that likely won't happen.
There is a possibility for a 0.5 percentage point drop, but I think for the first rate cut in 4.5 years, they'll start with 0.25 percentage point.
While many everyday costs are easing, housing continues to drive inflation. Rent prices are up 5.2% in just the last 12 months. Earlier today, public water utility systems from across the state converged in Madison for Wisconsin's best tasting tap water contest. And when all was said and done, Appleton took home the top prize. Participants in this year's contest critically evaluated samples exclusively from Wisconsin water utilities that meet or surpass the federal and state water quality standards. But what exactly are members of the panel looking for when choosing which water wins?
I would say the most important thing is your source water. Having a great source water gives you a great foundation to build upon. And then we employ a variety of technologies throughout the different municipalities in the state to help remove any particulates that might be in that water that could affect taste, odor, color, to provide a really high quality, clean, fresh, safe water for our customers.
And Appleton will advance now to the national competition for tap water. That'll be next summer in Denver. One of the country's most iconic brands plans to change its name. Campbell's Soup wants to drop soup from its corporate moniker. The company has been around now for 155 years, but leaders say there's more to Campbell's these days than just soup, and soup is now a smaller part of the company's sales. So it wants to be known as the Campbell's Company. Campbell's owns a variety of snacks and foods that include Goldfish, Pepperidge Farm, and Snyder's of Hanover. Shareholders will decide the issue at the company's annual meeting in November. Not exactly soup weather around here, not for a while anyway. Let's check back in with Alex for the complete forecast.
I thought you were going to lead in with that. Yes, definitely not soup weather across southern Wisconsin. Maybe grilling weather. Beautiful evening for that. 81 in Madison, feeling more like July than the middle of September. Humidity levels, they're low, so this is a dry warmth across southern Wisconsin with a beautiful Upland Hills sponsored image here of our beautiful capital. 6 p.m. right now, again, 81. This is planning your evening. We'll go into the 70s by the time you join Blaze and Eric here again at 10 o'clock. Temperatures right around 70 degrees. Again, this dry warmth is really quite comfortable for opening up the windows with low 80s, upper 70s across all of southern Wisconsin. We've got a 77 right now in Mineral Point, in the warm spot not too far to the northwest in the Wisconsin River Valley, Boscobel, sitting at 83 degrees. We'll see these temperatures go down. Let's track them as we move further into the overnight lows, and the way we wake up Thursday morning will be on a cool side in the Wisconsin River Valley in the low to mid 50s. We'll do upper 50s here in Madison, a couple areas near 60 degrees. So overall mild to start off Thursday. And dry air has the tendency to warm up faster than a humid air mass, and it's a dry air mass on Thursday. We'll go for 86 in Madison, 85 in Wisconsin Dells, 86 in Boscoville, and 83 in Monroe. Now, what about Francine? We said, what impacts will this tropical weather system make for southern Wisconsin? Now downgraded to a Category 1 storm. It made landfall about an hour ago as a Category 2 storm. We're going to see the clouds from Francine as early as Friday morning. Clouds continue to stick around for Friday. Maybe an isolated shower or two as we go late Friday night into Saturday morning. An isolated shower not out of the question on Saturday. A lot of places staying dry. As we start Sunday morning, maybe a bit more scattered shower activity across the area. And we do have events going on this weekend too, but isolated to chance is the main word, the main mode with Francine's impact. And why? Well, all this dry air that we have in place as Francine tries to move north and northwest, all that water gets wrung out and some of it gets evaporated with the dry air that we have in place. Quarter, maybe 1/10 of an inch at most across southern Wisconsin, not expecting widespread amounts of rainfall with this weather system. Temperatures for our Badger game, Saturday, 11 o'clock kickoff. We'll be in the rate of about the low to mid 70s. We'll get up to around 80 by the time we end the game. Just that slight chance of a shower, but be prepared for that. And of course, we have G-Days in Jefferson. I'll be emceeing a parade that starts at noon, going for cloudy skies, maybe those showers in the morning, but I think widespread rainfall for G-Days on Sunday and for the Badger game, for that matter, on Saturday. Not a very high chance. Next week, we stay warm, sticking around with these temperatures, July, August-like, and we're keeping an eye on a weather system towards the end of the week. That cold front could bring some more thunderstorms to southern Wisconsin and then cooling off behind that front.
And coming up in sports, we're breaking down our Beasts of the Week for Week 2 of Wisconsin football. Which Badger stood out? That's next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
I was a Kamala Harris supporter. That changed after an illegal alien murdered my son. Running him over, then driving back and forth over Drew's body 3 times. The man who killed my son had been arrested previously, but Kamala Harris let him go. As San Francisco's DA, Kamala was soft on crime. As a senator, she supported releasing criminal aliens back into our neighborhoods. Kamala Harris is dangerous.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
When it comes to winning internet, TDS is in a league of our own. Just like the Green Bay Packers, Wisconsin born and bred, we live, work, play, hire, and get involved in the communities we serve. Like delivering the green and gold standard of internet. 100% fiber internet that's as fast, powerful, and reliable as your other hometown favorite, the Packers. TDS, internet that's built Wisconsin strong.
They produced yacht rock hits that defined an era. It's Ambrosia. Performing live October 12th at Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells. With special guest John Ford Coley. Tickets are on sale now through Ticketmaster. Soft rock that rocked the yacht. Ambrosia, John Ford Coley, October 12th at Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells.
Get an 11% rebate from Menards. Update your home's exterior with Cedar Creek vinyl siding. This easy-to-install, low-maintenance siding withstands the elements and is available in 16 color options. Get the last roof you'll ever need with Steel Roofing. It offers superior wind and hail resistance and is available in cut-to-your-length panels. Get an 11% rebate on everything right now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
He told us who he was.
Should abortion be punished? There has to be some form of punishment.
Then he showed us.
For 54 years, they were trying to get Roe v. Wade terminated, and I did it, and I'm proud to have done it.
Now Donald Trump wants to go further with plans to restrict birth control, ban abortion nationwide, even monitor women's pregnancies. We know who Donald Trump is. He'll take control. We'll pay the price.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Our first Buc-ee's Beasts of the Week highlighted their talents off the field.
This week, we take a look at some feats that will simply make your jaw drop.
Let's start on the offensive side of the ball. Wisconsin has a guy by the name of Tawi Walker, a 5'9", 218-pound running back who's built like a brick house. What do you do when you have him on your team?
Are you kidding me? Run the ball.
And when he gets it, it's like a freight train coming straight at you. Number 3, didn't get off the tracks. Hoo-hoo! That's a Mack truck coming full speed ahead, and Walker turns out the lights and makes him go night-night. But check out the balance. A hand in the dirt looking for pay dirt. You can't stop that. He'll carry the whole team into that end zone.
And Zach, I love it, but Tawi, he's ran over some people in the past, whereas my beast, this is a first for him. Xavier Lucas.
Reaching out with one hand.
Gets the interception. Yeah, that's a defensive player with one hand. You can call him Odell, and it would count in the NFL. Gets the 2 feet down. And wait a second, let's just run that back. Too ridiculous not to. Gets the one hand on it. The highly touted true freshman only played 7 snaps, and this was one of them. Next marks the spot, and he is that dude.
So congrats to Xavier and Tawi on being our Week 2 Beasts of the Week. Now, if you like that, just wait until you see this week's. And just a reminder, you can watch the Wisconsin Huddle on Friday at 6:30 right here on News 3 Now. Ches Malusi was our guest this week.
Tawi Walker's got calves like
massive.
Got calves like Alex Harrington.
Yeah, right.
Let's get a quick final check of the forecast. We're staying warm.
Staying warm all the way through the next 10 days. That shower chance Saturday and Sunday. There'll be a lot of dry time. Many places in southern Wisconsin will stay dry entirely. Keeping an eye later next week, that system Friday going into Saturday, temperatures going back down to 75. That could be a strong cold front for the Midwest. We'll keep our close eyes on that one because that could bring some severe weather close by.
Well, thanks for joining us at 6. Have a great evening. We'll be back here tonight for News 3 Now at 10.